My mother worked very, very hard to make sure that I was fed and clean and showed up to school. But unfortunately, in a circumstance which wasn't a positive one in a marriage that she was in, we ended up very much leaving our house and ended up living in the park and living in a local campground with our tent, making sure I got to class, washing ourselves in public facilities, and eating whatever we could possibly scrounge together from a local convenience store, or staying in a hotel. These things happened quite regularly. They're not cost effective. They are emotionally draining. And it was very challenging, but the point is I still went to school, I still graduated, and I saw the mother love me very much. Diligently, we saved, we scrounged, we borrowed, we begged. And we were able to solidify a place in a very crummy neighborhood and save money towards something better, and save money towards something better, and continue to focus on the long-term goals, not the short-term tragedies. Life is different. Life is special. Life is a continuous voyage towards something greater and grander. I'm very tired, but I'm tired for the right reasons. I'm tired because I'm working hard. I'm a city councillor, recently re-elected in my community at 27 years old for my second term of office. I work on a lot of social justice issues. I'm a graduate of my local neighborhood college. I have a television talk show on TV Kojiko in my local community where we've interviewed everyone from Rick Mercer to Justin Trudeau to Bob Ray and Romeo Saganash, you name them. I've published books on this issue. I write for local publications, and I work for a financial advisor in my neighborhood who understands my circumstances and is really excited when I get an opportunity to share the story and encourages me to go to conferences like this. Something like 300,000 people every year are facing this. We have 37 million people in our country. It probably costs an awful lot less than some of the scandals we see our government plagued with. It definitely costs a lot less than many of the services that are attached to it currently in its current state. And I think that we have to recognize that our statistics lie and that our system is outdated, and that we have to continue making sure that our think tanks are operating and that we're advocating heavily every day, every single day.
It's a really rough life. I spent roughly 15 months on the streets of Winnipeg, and when I came from a job that paid me $100,000, and I never thought for once that I'd ever end up on the street. Due to losing my job in clinical depression, I did indeed end up on the street, and found myself in an old Mercedes-Benz to sleep in for about 7 months, and at times had my life threatened because people wanted my car. And the irony of that situation is that I used to own a Mercedes-Benz, and here I was sleeping in one. The worst thing about being homeless is your loss of self-esteem, self-respect, and because you have nothing. Well, I have my own apartment, and I've been housed for 3 years now, and I met a person at Salvation Army who's the love of my life, and we've been together for the 3.5 years since we've been out of Salvation Army. And homelessness by supporting Housing First. Housing First is a major player. That home shade swap program that I was in became a well, I actually became an intensive case manager in that program, and I know how well Housing First works. And I think if the government wants to invest any money in any homelessness, it should be in the Housing First program.
First of all, I would like to say that my Indian name, first one is Kutkwaitan, and the other one that I have is called Ecluse. My English name is Leonard James, and homelessness is a very heartbreaking problem that I have experienced. Go back into the 60s before the scoop of the residential school issue, which is what I became a product of as well. Maybe the 3rd or 4th generation residential school byproduct. And having experienced even homelessness before going to the residential school with my mom. I remember traveling a lot with her before she was murdered. And that's what put me on the downward spiral from being in the boarding school, residential school issue. And then from there it just led to institutions, foster care homes, all very unpleasant, the ones that I've been to. And I'm very, very glad to be alive. I have accepted all kinds of religion now as a direct result of learning about other cultures traditionally. With the smudging ceremonies, the eagle feather, the 4 representations of the color tiers, red, yellow, black, white, that represents all the nations of the earth, and the 4 directions and the 4 seasons, and many other perceptions, that I am learning about. I am living in a temporary transitional hotel without the access of a washroom and cooking facilities, but I look forward to moving out, hopefully, as soon as possible, because I do want to go back to school. I do want to do more advocate work. This is my goal. My suit of armor is to being able to help the most destitute people where I used to be. To end homelessness is to really pay attention to the people's stories, their pleas, and show empathy, real love and concern.